The day my daughter Emma got married, they stuck me at table 12, tucked away behind a flower arrangement so big you could literally hide a small plane behind it. I felt like some embarrassing old relative they were just hoping would disappear into the centerpiece.
So I just sat there, smiling my sweet little old lady smile, watching my new son-in-law, Marcus, work the room. Oh, this charming boy. He had absolutely no idea what kind of storm he was about to walk into. Not a clue.
Yep, table 12. The message couldn't have been clearer. But here's the thing. From my little horticultural prison, I had a perfect view of a giant mirror on the far wall. So I just sat there, and I watched. I watched everything. To them, I was just the harmless, kind of pitiful widow. The one nobody ever pays attention to.
And as I'm watching all this go down, I started to notice something, fascinating. Marcus, he had all these different smiles. For the rich guests, it was this megawatt movie star charm. For the people he thought might be useful, a polite, practiced little smile. And for me, for anyone who looked like they couldn't do a single thing for him, nothing. Complete and total indifference. He was sizing everybody up, like a shark. So a few days go by, and he invites me to a private dinner. And that's when he pulls out this folder crammed with paperwork. He slides it across the table all smooth and says something like, "Oh, it's just some basic safeguards, in case you ever need a little help." But it wasn't a little help, no. It was a complete power of attorney. He wanted total control over my money, my health, my entire life. I mean, this guy was fishing with the subtlety of dynamite in a koi pond. He just kept going on and on about elder care and protecting me from people who might take advantage of my trusting nature. The irony, oh my gosh, the irony was so thick you could cut it with a knife. You see, he thought he had me. He really did. The poor, helpless widow, all cornered and confused. But Marcus, he made one absolutely catastrophic mistake. So what was it? It's simple, really. He assumed I was just another helpless widow. He looked at me, saw a simple gray dress and my husband's old broken watch, and he saw an easy mark. Oh boy, he couldn't have been more wrong. See, what Marcus had no way of knowing was that my late husband, Robert, he left me a little secret. A very big secret, actually. For 2 whole years, I had been quietly sitting on $33 million. And Robert, bless him, he knew. He saw something like this coming from a mile away. He left me a letter with all the bank statements, and in it he wrote, "Don't you let anyone steal what I spent 40 years building for you. Use every single penny if you have to. Make them regret the day they decided to mess with my wife." And listen to this. He didn't just leave me a pile of cash. No, he left me a fortress. The whole $33 million was locked up tight in something called an irrevocable trust. Basically, it's a legal structure so airtight, so bulletproof, that even if I'd been foolish enough to sign Marcus's papers, he couldn't have touched a single cent. And get this, Robert also left me the number for a lawyer, a woman named Carol Peterson, said she'd be waiting for my call. The second I walked into Carol's office, everything changed. The whole game just flipped. We brought in the district attorney, a sharp woman named Sarah Chen, who'd had her eye on Marcus for a while. She suspected he was part of a much bigger operation. And right then and there, we decided the predators were about to become the prey. So we set the perfect trap. It was beautiful. Step 1, I called Marcus and pretended I'd had a change of heart. Told him I was ready to sign those papers. Step 2, we wired my living room. I'm talking hidden cameras, microphones, the whole shebang. Step 3, we told him to bring his own notary, just to make him feel secure. And step 4, we had police hiding in the very next room, ready to go. And you know what? He walked right into it. He saunters in, spreads all the papers out on my coffee table, and starts going on about how he and Emma are going to manage everything for me. So I pick up the pen, I'm about to sign the last page, and I just look up at him, give him a little smile, and say, "You know, Marcus, this is where things get really interesting. What I mean is, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. You should have seen his face when the cops came pouring out of the other rooms. Absolutely priceless." Now, I'm not going to lie, the hardest part of all of this was showing my daughter, Emma, the recordings. Having her hear her own husband's greed, him talking about his plan to basically warehouse me in some nursing home, it was just devastating for her. but she had to know the truth. Meanwhile, Marcus's bail was set at $500,000. And guess what? It was money he didn't have. The trial? It was over in a flash. The jury was out for, 47 minutes? Came back, guilty on all counts. The judge gave him 18 years in federal prison, and as they were leading him away, he just glares at me with this look of pure hatred and screams, "This isn't over." Oh, honey, it was so over. But here's the thing. It was never just about Marcus. This was bigger. The FBI got involved because they'd suspected for a while that he was tied into this huge multi-state elder fraud ring. And with the evidence we gave them, they finally had everything they needed to bring the whole rotten thing down. And man, did that investigation explode. My little case, it turned into the key that unlocked a whole criminal empire. When the dust settled, 67 people had been arrested. 49 of them were convicted. But you want to know the best part? The absolute best part? The feds recovered over $80 million, and every single penny went back to the dozens of other people this network had ripped off. People got their life savings back, they got their homes back, they got their dignity back. That was everything. So after all that, I realized my work wasn't quite done yet. Robert left me all that money to keep me safe, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to use it to make sure everyone can be safe. So I went to the DA, and we created this federally backed victim advocacy program. I funded it with a $5 million donation from my trust. Every year. And the results? They were just spectacular. I mean, elder fraud reports dropped 60% nationwide. We even got a hold of messages between criminals warning each other about the Thornfield disaster. That's what they called my case. Telling each other to be careful targeting widows in case they ran into another Sylvia Hartley situation. Can you believe that? Congress proposed the Hartley Act. And, well, I even received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Okay, so fast forward 5 years. Marcus is up for parole. He walks into the hearing. He looks older, yeah, a bit thinner, but there wasn't a single ounce of remorse on his face. His lawyer gets up and gives this whole speech about what a model prisoner he's been, how he's learned his lesson. Then it was my turn. I stood up, I looked right at him, and I told the parole board, look, after 5 years in prison, Marcus is still just bitter that he failed to steal my inheritance. He's not rehabilitated. He's just angry that his victim had bigger teeth than he expected. And just like that, parole denied. You see, Marcus thought he was hunting a poor, helpless little widow. What he didn't realize was that he'd just walked into the lair of a very, very angry dragon. Some predators just have to learn the hard way that some widows don't just bite back. They bite back with federal funding. And to think, this all started because they stuck me behind a flower arrangement. They thought I was someone you could just hide away, ignore, and steal from. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What happens when the people everyone underestimates finally decide to become dangerous?